Welcome into Capper's Cave. I'm your host, Lorenzo da Costa. This is Free Picks and on Capper's Cave, brought to you by Intellect Sports. We have College Week 6 and NFL Week 5 best bets. Now, again, our weekend show usually airs on Friday, but again, it's Thursday or Friday. We usually like to get them out before the games, obviously. And we're going to do some picks. We sometimes have a reaction show on Tuesday. We're going to do a little bit of that today and also give you some picks for tonight, for Thursday games, and for Friday as well. So, listen in, and if you haven't yet, we've been doing pretty good. Another solid week, 75 in the NFL, 62 in college, 65 on the year. Very nice. We have the one, the only, Locksmith Larry, or Larry the Locksmith, whichever you prefer, our SEC connoisseur. Good day, sir. How are you? And good day to you, man. Good. We're going to talk a little bit first. Well, not first, but it's called, we're going to talk miscues in betting this week and how it plays into quite a few of our bets. We always don't mention it, but we will mention it in one of our bets today. It's like events such as interceptions, lost fumbles, missed field goals, failed fourth down conversions, and these often lead to a loss of, say, expected points and or, great field position for the opponent. Now, these quote-unquote drive-ending miscues, they represent nothing more than, say, bad luck, right? But you have to adjust. You got to adjust their effects, and it can really improve your handicapping, since luck does tend to even out over the long term. Some call it luck, but that's, again, what we're going to call it. Teams this year, let's look at some numbers here. Teams with 4 or more drive-ending miscues went 0 for 6 ATS. Teams with no drive-ending miscues went 4 and 1 ATS. Now let's recap just this week 4. The top 8, or shall I say the top 8 with the worst margins last week, all lost at the spread. So we'll get into that a little bit more and talk about one of our bets with it. Occasionally we like to go if the numbers and the margins are right. We like to pick based solely on that. So listen in. News, notes, and complaints. And I'm sure you've heard all over the news, Urban Meyer trying to get some snail trails at the bar. I mean, come on, Urban. Grow up or get smarter. I mean, was your plan to go back to the locker room and have all your buds smell your fingers for a proof sniff? I mean, come on, man. How bad does this make you look? After that shit in Ohio State where he knew about one of his coaches beating his wife, man, the women must hate you. Well, it's obvious in those photos, not every woman out there hates you. I know you're high profile. You are, and you got to watch what you do. But can we knock on the lady a little bit too? Yes, Meyer, an idiot. You're not in the mob where you get to go to your own bar and do whatever the hell you want. But the lady, yeah, you knew he was married, right? And that's pretty shitty too, right? I just want to know, man, after watching that video, why are his hands so damn low? He looks kind of weird, like funny, like he's just way down there, man. You know, man, it's just a little grabby, touchy-feely at the no-no spot, probably. Man, that dude's, he's in some trouble. Not just with the team so much, but, man, at home, man, I tell you, he got girls and stuff. Man, he's in trouble. Well, maybe he did this on purpose. I don't know. Maybe he let his family know that he was going to do it. If so, can we say genius? Because if he gets canned, he may see a large payday with no work. And that's ultimately the American dream, right? All pay and no work. Yeah. F you, Urban. But thanks for the championship at Ohio State. Much thanks. And this Shad Khan, I believe is how you pronounce, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He has to be the cliche. He needs to earn our trust, blah, blah, blah. I mean, have you seen this dude? This guy is the real life mother effing Mario. It's a me. Mario Kart. Look him up. Total Mario Brothers. This dude just by looking at him. Has yachts with, shall we say, a Jeffrey Epstein feng shui to them. I bet. Come on, these owners. Big Ben. You know what? Let's talk about Big Ben a little bit. Why don't you go join that boat? We all know you want to. Us non-Steeler fans still remember the old incident in the bar bathroom. It was just a tough. It was a tough poo the young lady was helping you with, right? We'll just notch it up as a forceful poo for you. Come on, Benny. Eli's out. Rivers out. These guys are in your class. It should be sending you a message right now. The line there, the offensive line there doesn't help. And it makes you look older. The worst thing is for the Steelers, him, old and shitty, is the best bet they have right now with those backups. Rudolph? Why is he still on the team? I don't know. He can take a freaking helmet to the head. I know that. And that other dude, he definitely wants to get on the boat. What's his name? Cordell. Yeah, Jones. He loves some strippers. He absolutely.
Oh, is it hard already? Huh?
He does. Isn't that what he got busted for? Yeah, he got the starting job in Washington last year, and sure enough, he went out to celebrate. So, to each his own. Both New York teams got their first win of the season in overtime as underdogs of 6 or more points. Actually, we'll say both New Jersey teams. Sorry. That's a correction. After a rough week 3, the rookie QBs all bounced back. They bounced back. Their teams went 2-3 SU and 4-1 ATS. The only non-cover was Houston losing by 40. Yeah, Bills, man. There's 40 points. Come on. San Fran, Trey Lance played the entire second half after Jimmy G went down with a calf injury. Niners lost to Seattle, despite, though, gaining 223 more yards. But we may have a play on that. It's a good angle. This is the way they played. There's still, it was his first. At least he got a half a game in. That's good. The road teams this year are still continuing to have success, going 9-7 SU and ATS as well since up to week 4. NFL season betting numbers so far, the favorites of 6 points or fewer are only 19-23 SU, 14-28 ATS. That's a pretty big number. That's favorites of 6 or more points. Another winning week. Road teams also were 33-30 SU and 36-27 ATS through 4 weeks. So that's good. Games also between the AFC and NFC teams have gone under 15 of 20 times. So pay attention to those games when you get an AFC team versus an NFC team. Just some nuggets to throw at you. This just in, Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield has a partial labrum tear. I believe that it's in the shoulder, right? It's his left shoulder, though. So this may not affect anything. He's choosing not to have surgery at this moment. But again, will this be better for the Browns if he was out? He only has 2 TDs to 2 interceptions this year. That's not MVP material. They're doing it on defense and run game, but you know what? You're going to need a quarterback come playoff time. And that is not MVP. That is not Super Bowl. Sorry, Browns fans. Might be time to move on and get on that QB carousel again, right? No, Locksmith. We can't do that right yet. They're still a real contender, I believe, but we can't do that right yet. Maybe later on, if something does happen. Because I don't even know who the hell their backups are. I'm not even going to look it up. I don't even know. Should we bring Cam in yet? Cam to the Steelers? No, we're not going to do that. Where is Cam? Poor Cammy. All right, let's get into some college football news, notes, and complaints. There is, we get a big shakeup this week in the top 25. 9 teams from last week lost. other than the top two teams, it's becoming obvious that there's parity among everyone else. So let's get into it. Bama, number one, obviously, 5-0. They dispatched Ole Miss, and again remain dominant. But they got Texas A&M coming up, so we shall see. But I can't see A&M putting up. I mean, what they did to Ole Miss. I think that was Ole Miss was probably the only one on the schedule besides Georgia that I figured would take them down, and we lost that bet. Penn State or Georgia. Sorry, I'm skipping over your Bulldogs. Number two, they total domination of this red hot Arkansas team, and they got another toughie coming up with Auburn this week. Penn State sitting at number three. The Nittany Lions defense is just playing great, and now they got Iowa up next. So a lot of big games. Some we don't have. Those are tough games to cap right now. Cincy, we love this team. 4-0. Bearcats, they jump up 4 spots. And a great win in South Bend. And now this week they got Temple, which they should handle. But let's see if they have the schedule to get into this top 4. I mean, they're definitely going to have to go undefeated to get any thought of getting in there. Oklahoma finally beat K-State, but not very impressive. And now they got Texas coming up at Dallas. It's in Dallas, neutral game. And you got number 6, Ohio State. It's 4-1. They seem to be improving. And they got Maryland coming up this week. So they're going to have to really put up some style points to stay atop there because they haven't looked so good. But the good thing is they lost early to a ranked team. It's all going to come down probably to that Michigan game if Michigan's undefeated. But again, who do you put in? You got to go with whoever wins, I would imagine, the one loss. Iowa, another Big Ten team. Big Ten's kind of rolling this year. Number 7. They keep forcing turnovers and can prove a lot this Saturday when they play Penn State. That'd be a huge one. They probably move up a couple spots. Michigan, 5-0, another Big Ten. Big jump in the rankings after a good win against a beat-up Wisconsin. Now they play another Big Ten team, Nebraska, which they should be able to handle pretty well. Notre Dame, I don't even know why they're in here. No, let's just kick them out. They just look horrible. Again, they lost a close one to a number 4 team, but they got Virginia Tech coming up this week, and we might have a play again against them. Oregon sitting at number 10, 4-1. They do have a solid argument, I suppose, since they beat Ohio State, but we shall see how the pack plays out, which it never bodes well for them. Alabama and Georgia, we can say it's obvious that these two teams are distancing themselves from everyone else. However, I do want to emphasize that our conclusions come from only 5 weeks, right? There's a long way to go. Long way, right? You're looking at me. Nah, man, we'll be good. But let me finish. Based on what we're watching and what they did to Ole Miss in Arkansas last Saturday, there can't be much debate on their dominance at this point. But everyone else is playing for that number 3 spot and the right to get the crap beat out of them by either one of these teams is basically how it's going to pan out. They're still 17 unbeaten, so we'll wait to see how it all deals out. So, without a further ado, and if you have nothing else, let's get into what you came for. Our picks. We're going to start out with the Thursday game, the Charlotte 49ers at Florida International Panthers. Panthers are getting 3.5 over under 58. This is the Thursday night 8 p.m. game. Listen, I love the Charlotte team. Talk about them all the time. Had some up and downs, but they beat a Power 5 school. Almost beat another one last week. But that's not where we're heading this week. Due to FIU's numbers against them, they've had great numbers playing against Charlotte. And even though they suck this year, I still hate those numbers. Sometimes teams, they come to compete against certain teams. This team, we're not taking a shot at it, okay? But we like the over. These teams have hit the over 4 of the 5 last matchups between the two. On top of that, FIU got smoked for 58 points against an FAU team and 31 against a CMU. And CLT, Charlotte, they have a strong offense. Even after playing 2 Power 5 schools, Charlotte, they sit 59th in the country at 412 yards per game. And FIU's just ahead of them at 413 per game. It's a lot of yards, a lot of points. And both defenses rank above 100 and allow more than 500 yards each a game. So we could say we can expect around 850 to 900 yards in this one. And that's a lot. Usually that's like 900. That's like 9 football fields. And they're not just starting at the 1 yard line at the time. So over is 4-0 in the Niners' last 4 conference games. 5-0 in the Panthers' last 5 games after allowing more than 200 yards rushing in the previous. 4-0 in Panthers' last 4 games following an ATS loss. Over is 5-0 in Panthers' last 5 games following a straight-up loss. Lock it up. Over the 58. I'm sure you've heard us mention this team before. Coastal Carolina at Arkansas State. Plus 19, over-under sitting at 72. This is another Thursday game. Again, long-term investment. CC, take out that CC. Take out that credit card and dump it all on Coastal. 4-1 ATS on the season. Bank, and more bank will come. But do note, Grayson McCall went out last week. Now, Coastal Carolina coach Jamie Chadwell said McCall's left ankle was rolled by another player. He could have continued playing if it was necessary, but it was not last game. Chadwell did say Monday that McCall is fine and will play Thursday, and that he's quote-unquote ready to rock and roll. So everything seems to be good to go here, but do keep an eye on it. Now, Chadwell did explain he was taken out at halftime for a precautionary standpoint. Again, we said that. But, what I'm trying to say is it sounds like it was precautionary. They didn't need him at halftime as the score was 38-3. So we can say extra precautionary. Little extra floppage. Dude was 13 for 13 with 2 TDs. 2 more completions this week, and he breaks school records for most completions, consecutive completions. So he has to complete the first 2. Listen, don't be scared at this line. Don't be. But also take a peek at the over here, too. Arkansas State has allowed 3 teams to put up more than 50 points this year. And all 3 were nowhere near these stellar chants. GA South put up 59 points. I mean, pretty much last D in Division I, allowing 46 points per game. 300 yards in the air per game. 263 rush. Damn, this sounds like a field day for Coastal. Now, McCall may get some rest here as well, as this score may jump up quick. But a little tidbit from last year, the score was 52-23, so sounds about right again. But I think the chances are a little bit better than that. So lock it up. Chance minus 19 and a small lean on the over. Temple. We're going to go right back to Cincinnati, are we? It's a big spread this week. Temple at Cincinnati. Minus 28.5, over under at 54. Now, we haven't faded Temple since back in week 1 against Rutgers. A game the Owls lost 61-14. But I will not hesitate to go back as they face this red-hot Cincy team. Friday night. It's a Friday night game. Listen, you may say the Bearcats are an obvious letdown spot as they return home on a short week of a massive win over Notre Dame and South Bend, but don't be scared by first impressions. Instead of a letdown, though, I look at them to just relish this opportunity. Show out in front of a national audience once again, as Coach Fickle knows what it takes, coming from Ohio State. It gets questioned all the time whether their resume is good enough. Ohio State's. He knows style points, and whipping the shit out of these type of teams is essential for a team like Cincy to get into the playoffs. Now, as I've noted in previous plays supporting Cincy this season, this is a team that's absolutely loaded on both sides of the football and certainly worth the CFP consideration as the season does go on. I mean, we've already seen them win their first 2 home games by an identical 35-point margin. Now, the Temple looks like they're a little tougher test sitting at 3-2. But keep in mind, the Owls' victories have come against the likes of Akron, Wagner, and Memphis. Last week, Memphis jumped ahead. They jumped ahead.
That is known as the Bears. The Bears.
What buttons you pushing over there? Now, we've already seen the Bearcats dominate teams like this, right? And to get, I mean, okay, so Memphis, that's what we're talking about. Memphis jumped ahead 17-0 early and appeared to have the game well in hand, but caught a flat-footed, and the Owls, they took advantage of a leaky Tiger defense, blah, 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 to get back in and eventually win by a field goal. Temple will not be so fortunate here. Look at the Bearcats. They're going to race ahead in this game and never let up. This is a lofty point spread, yes, but should look pretty short by the time halftime rolls around. So take Cincy, lock it up, minus 28.5. Hey, if you can buy it down a half a point, I like 4 touchdowns. I'd hate to get caught with that clip. Moving on. Let's get to the Big Ten here. Michigan State at Rutgers. Rutgers getting 5 points at home, over under at 51, and this is Saturday, 12 p.m. game. Number 11, Michigan State, getting no love. What the? Well, I'll tell you why they're not getting any love. This is what ugly looked like in 2020 at Michigan State. Losses by 42 points to Iowa, 40 points to Ohio State, 24 to Indiana, and 15 to Penn State. Wow. Now fast forward to 2021, and Mr. Tucker's second season as coach at Michigan State, he has rolled into the second week of October without a loss. Rutgers, yes, much improved, but this Michigan State team is rolling, and we get a nice number with a strong road team. Won and covered at Miami, at Northwestern, 3-0 and 2 ATS on the year. And this O is rolling behind Thorne. They're 19 in points scored at 37.8 per game. In the top 40 for most offensive categories. Oh, and this rush, if you haven't heard, the one thing Tucker realized when he arrived at Michigan State last year, this program, he said, you guys are not physical. You're not tough enough. So what did he do? What did Tucker do? He searched the portal for a tailback to find toughness. And he could bring that intensity to this offense. And he did. He did. He found a jewel tucked away, overlooked for the last 2 years in Wake Forest. Now Kenneth Walker III is the nation's leading rusher.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
The nation's leading rusher right now. Good find, Tucker. Good find. And go against a pissed off Rutgers team who just got back and we can say brought back to earth against Ohio State after they kept it close with Michigan the week before, a game we picked for them. But gaming, obviously, is situational. Like you this week, we don't like you next week. They struggled last week. 3 picks and started testing other quarterbacks. Going to be messy. Tough week. This is just, it's going to be a tough week to fix that in 1 week. Those demons and, what am I trying to say here? To get those demons out of your head, per se. To be mentally and physically prepared for this. It's going to be tough for them. Michigan State's going to control this game throughout against a lackluster Rutgers team, leading to another win and cover on the road. Michigan State, 5-0 SU in their last 5 games. 6-1 SU ATS in their last 7 games against Rutgers. Rutgers are 4-1 I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's Michigan. So, yeah, those are the 2 ones that we like it. We've won with them all year. Man, we got a lot of college football picks for you. And some betting nuggets at the end. Some quick picks for you. So I think we have 6 with predictions and analysis. And I'm sure you got one coming for us, don't you, Locksmith? I'm sure you do. But you're probably looking it up right now. Anyways, let's move on. Texas San Antonio Roadrunners. I know. Versus Western Kentucky. Not one of the biggest games on the board. But, again, we like the money. All right, Western Kentucky minus 3.5 at home. Over-under sitting at 69. West K, they've had their number called several times on this show if you've listened in. We like them. We've won with them. And still don't know what the fuck a Hilltopper is. You know what it is? You know what it is? I sure don't know. Is it like a hillbilly or something? I don't know. I think it's like a sexual move, man, kind of like a Cleveland Steamer or a Alabama Hammer. No, I don't think a college would do that. I hope not. You never know. But let's dig into the bet. And, well, I also want to know about the mascot there. Have you seen the mascot there? And why the hell he looks like that McDonald's character. I don't know if you're way back in the day. This is like 80s, 90s kids. Grimace is his name. You know, he's like this little weird red dude. I think they bought this from McDonald's. I mean, if you know, let us know. Holler at us on Twitter or Facebook, because I'm not wasting my time to look that shit up. Okay, so at first glance, you see a Texas San Antonio team 5-0, right? 4-1 ATS versus a 1-3 Western Kentucky. What gives? Well, simple. Odds know it too. Western Kentucky is good, and we get a good buy here due to their record, and the public loves that usual response to that. They look at the record real quick. Oh, 5-0, boom, 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 good ATS record. No, make no mistake about Western Kentucky. Number 1 in pass yards per game in the FBS. Number freaking 1. And the fascinating thing is, they've had to play the likes of Michigan State, Indiana, and put up 31 on each. Exactly 31 on each. And made it close. Texas San Antonio's had a nice first win against a subpar Illinois team, but faced Lamar, Middle Tennessee, UNLV. All games were close, except for the FCS game, Lamar. So strength of schedule, way off. I mean, for a point spread of 3.5, it's just way off. Billy Zappe, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Remember that name, though. We've told you before. NFL caliber here. Went 46 for 64. 64 pass attempts. 488 yards, 3 TDs, and 0 INTs. Only has 2 INTs on the season. 17 TDs. Over 1,700 yards. 72% passing. Number 1. And being undervalued here. No way Frank Harris, QB, Texas A&M, with half the numbers Zap has on the year, against shit teams, will be able to match them in this game. No way. Eat these small points and lock it up. WKU minus 3.5. All right, Larry, you got a pick for us, sir. Oh, yeah, man, I'm sticking with the SEC, of course. I'm doing LSU going into Kentucky. Kentucky's actually minus 3, over under at 51. These unbeaten Wildcats, man, are winning old school, man, grind and pound behind their defense and running game, which it isn't pretty, but surely proven effective. But what is pretty, man, is this dude, Cavassier Smoke. Yep, I said it, man, Cavassier Smoke. That's a crazy name, man. But I'm not a detective here. I'm just going to say his parents, Like to throw a few back and maybe hit the peace pipe a couple times, man. And that's all right. Man, that's all right. But I like it, man. He's got a cool name. In the last 2 weeks, man, he turned out 16 points. And to hold, not him alone, but Kentucky, man. And to beat South Kakalaki on the road. 20 points to beat Florida, man. They beat Florida in Lexington for the first time since 1986, man. How about them apples? 1986. Just going crazy, man. I love this team. And LSU, man, they didn't look good since they had old Burrow there, man. And they just struggled to find a running game to help out their QB, Max Johnson. And a backup entering the season, man, pressed into duty because the first one got injured, Mr. Brennan. Hey, man, Kentucky has gone under in 2 straight. LSU in 3 of its last 4, and I can expect that trend to continue this Saturday in the Bluegrass State, man. So I am saying I do like the under here too, but dude, I'm taking Kentucky. I'm taking Kentucky, but I do like the under here as well because these are just some rough and tough teams, man. Well, Kentucky is on D, man. But, yeah, I like the under 51 and Kentucky -3. Well, thank you, sir. And those are some great picks. I do like it. Kentucky was kind of slowly. Nobody's really watching them. Very undervalued. And, yeah, this Kavasiak guy just tearing it up. He is quick. He's a little dude. He's quick. He's tough. I like it. I like him beating LSU at home. So I will put that on the board for you and lock it up.
Is it hard already? Huh?
Sorry about that. Wrong button there. All right, let's take a quick word from our sponsors, and then we'll get into the NFL.
Have you seen all BetAnySports.eu has to offer? Are you interested in low rollover bonuses? Choose between 2 fantastic premiums with tiny rollover requirements. Get a 55% welcome bonus with only 6 playthrough requirement. Bet your favorite games live through their exclusive live betting feature. And bet your game as it unfolds with the top-of-the-line live betting odds. Mention promo code CappersCave and receive a 55% free play bonus to start up your account. That's Capper's Cave, a 55% free play bonus. And don't forget, BetAnySports has to offer high-quality betting lines, true odds and parlays, same-day payouts, and many other unbeatable perks. Use promo code Capper's Cave and experience online sports betting like never before.
All right, let's get into the NFL. Let's see if we got any good picks for you. We've been tearing up the NFL. You may want to go against us this week. No, we're going to keep rolling. First on the board, Tennessee at Jacksonville. Jacksonville getting 4 points. This is a 1 o'clock game, I believe. Loved Jacksonville last week, and we won. But don't like them this week with that the Cougar dry humping still lingering out there. Watch out. This just stinks. No pun intended, but turmoil in the locker room, the staff rooms, and a tough spot to be 0-4. If you were 4-0, I'd be thinking differently, but you're not. After looking pretty decent last week, now to go against a pissed-off Tennessee team that just lost to the fucking Jets in OT. Oh, they're going to be pissed. Henry's going to bury this team. And you get a nice buy here with the inconsistencies of Tennessee. But listen, they're going to get more consistent throughout the year with more wins, more covers. Tennessee has covered this game 7 of the last 10, won by 21 last year. They should not have trouble in Jacksonville, land of the dry hump USA. Can we say that? Land of the humper dries. The dry humpers. Very good. Lock it up. Would you? I know. You're looking at me, but that was a quick one. All due to Mr. Meyer fucking shit up down there. Almost. Who knows what happened later that night? That's what I want to know. Do we have any other camera footage of what happened later that night? I want to find out. I really do. Anyways, next up, the New York Jets versus Atlanta. All right, this is the England game. Oui. Or is that French? Yeah, that's French. Have a cup of tea. All right, 2 rookie coaches going out to England are making the trip to London for this one. Okay, a scenario that tests schedules, preparation, planning, even for veteran coaches. This is the tough one. Now, with both teams struggling on defense, taking the points here may prove to be wise, but I don't think we're going to go that angle. The Falcons' defense has been so porous over the last 4 weeks. In another really quick, I think the England games, I think the NFL, excuse me, kind of gives them a hint. Talks to the owners, coaches, says, hey, guys, let's open up the game plan a little bit for England. We have to. Let's open it up a little bit. You can see where we're going here. Let's open it up a little bit. Get some excitement. We want TDs. We want England to like American football. And again, it's playing that helps us out even more with these defenses. I mean, Jets have finally found some offense. So this game could end up being closer than most anticipate, but that helps us with the over. I mean, the Falcons have struggled mightily to keep their opponents from scoring. They've given up like 32 points in each of their the last 2 opponents. The Giants in week 3, they've allowed at least 260 passing yards, 100 rushing yards in each of their first 4 games. Now, while the Jets have yet to put together a complete game on offense, they have shown some flashes of what they could be in the future. Week 2 against the Patriots, the Jets picked up 152 rushing yards. Week 4 against the Titans, Wilson threw for 297 yards, 2 touchdowns. They could have a solid outing against this soft Falcons defense, which is why taking the Jets, the over, and maybe the plus 3.5. It may be a smart call, but again, that's not a high confidence. We're not going to take that. Anything can happen in England, but we do like points here. In 4 weeks, the Jets and their opponents have scored over 46 points, just once. Okay, which did happen in an overtime victory to the Titans. Okay, but that's fine. And that's part of the reason why the Jets are not a good team yet. The other reason for 2 low-scoring contests is that the Jets have played against arguably the 3 best top 10 defenses, Carolina, New England, and Denver. And the Falcons are one of the worst defenses in the league, which explains why they've had 2 of their first 4 games go over 46 points. Another reason why we're taking the over 46 in this one, so lock it up. And this game is they usually do it Sunday morning, 9 a.m. East Coast time. Eastern Standard, whatever the hell you want to call it. All right, let's dig in. What do we have next here? Let's go to Vegas. Yes, let's go. Let's go gamble. Bears drive. No, they're probably going to fly down to Vegas. Raiders. The Raiders sitting at -6 over under 44.5. This is a great spot for the Bears heading into Sin City right now. And a tough spot, I think, for the Raiders. After 4 weeks, the Raiders' true colors are, I think, starting to shine. And the pressure is on. Everyone and their mother rode this pony for the first couple of weeks, right? Riding high. Yeah, we beat Baltimore in OT. Yay, we beat Pitt in Pitt. But Pitt sucks. And yay, we beat Miami at Miami in OT. Now you had your first tough match of the season against Los Angeles, the Chargers, and got your ass whipped. Raiders, you're not that great, but you're not that bad. In the middle of the field, we'll say for now. Now you're going to return home with much more pressure on Gruden and the boys than the Bears right now. Bears know they're just growing, and they're slowly getting better. With Fields now he's getting the start this week. He's going to feel a lot more comfortable, and should have less stress and pressure on him now. Listen, this guy is elusive and can make big throws. He could be dangerous to that weak back end of the Raiders. Now, yes, Nagy said Dalton's my guy, but this may have been a stunt, but we already know that now. It might have been a stunt to throw off their game plan early, but again, he has to announce it soon. So he already did. They are 2 different quarterbacks. But listen, Fields, Take a stop at the MGM. Place a bet on them Bears. I mean, do it. Do it.
Team that is known as the Bears. The Bears.
Place a bet on them. Again, not full confidence. No, I do. We got full confidence. As long as Fields starting, which you already said, I'm in. The Bears may surprise many people in this one. May still fall short of a victory, but we're getting 6 points. Now, do pay attention. Not having David Montgomery out there could be an issue. So do watch if he is healthy. But I think the Bears come in highly motivated in this one. What do you think there, Locksmith? Man, I ain't touching this game until I know, if David's going to be in. But I'd also like to make sure Mr. Nagy, man, ain't handling that play calling. Man, he can't do that shit. This guy can't do it. And very few can, man. If Nagy's calling plays, I would think the Bears could cover. Or if he's not calling plays. But if he is, man, I ain't taking that shit, man. But you ain't going to know that till the game starts. So I think the Raiders win this one easily if he's calling in plays, man. He can't do that shit. Yeah, I agree. Very few can do it and do it well. And he needs to hand it off to somebody else. Come on. Just do it. All right, let's dig in to some more. San Francisco at Arizona. Big game this week. Big game. Oh, there it is. Upset alert. Little bitty overvaluation here. Let's talk miscues. Like we said at the beginning of the show, miscues. This is a good angle. Again, we take for several games and may not talk about much, but it plays a huge part in betting the spread. Miscues, season miscues rankings by TR. For example, if a team has a +5 ranking, right? That means they've had 5 fewer turnovers, missed field goals, or missed fourth downs than their opponents. So see how this plays when you have a plus side. Doesn't necessarily mean a plus thing. It can mean a negative thing. Because remember, this is a luck factor. Miscues. Things that's helped them out. Arizona leads the season miscues rankings by being +9. So again, that means they've had 9 fewer turnovers, missed field goals, or missed fourth downs than their opponents. Now, here are some luck elements that might have gone Arizona's way so far. To give you some examples, opposing kickers are only 7 of 11 on extra points against them, 4 and 7 on their field goals against Arizona. Again, you see where we're going with this, the luck factor. Arizona is 3 for 3 now on fourth downs, while their opponents are 2 for 5, meaning fourth down plays have gone Arizona's way so far, 6 of 8 times. Arizona has recovered 5 of 9 opponent fumbles and recovered all 3 of their own. You see these numbers? Very beneficial. Those factors can all contribute to Arizona being a little overvalued now, especially coming off a big win against the Rams, where they were a +4 in miscue differential. Meanwhile, San Francisco was a -4 in the miscue category last week and lost a game to Seattle despite having 223 more total yards than them. All right, so if these luck factors start to even out this week, which again, we say luck eventually evens itself out, San Francisco would benefit in this one. And rookie QB Trey Lance potentially starting. I think he is. And some potential variance there associated with these offensive adjustments could also help the 49ers' chances. Value is ending conclusion on the 49ers this week with those quote-unquote luck factors playing a role. So let's take San Fran plus the 5, and it's at 5.5 now. Lock it up. Quick recap, and then we'll get into our betting nuggets and quick picks. That was San Francisco at Arizona. We're taking San Francisco -5.5 or +5.5. Chicago Bears versus Raiders. We're taking the Bears +6. New York Jets versus Atlanta. We're taking the over 45 points in England. Tennessee at Jacksonville. We're taking Tennessee -4. Larry's pick in the SEC. He's taking Kentucky -3 and the under, which he likes the under more if that's correct. And Texas San and Western Kentucky. We're taking Western Kentucky -3.5. Michigan State at Rutgers. We're taking Michigan State -5. Temple at Cincinnati. We're taking Cincy -28.5. But if you can buy it down 0.5 point, we recommend. Coastal Carolina at Arkansas State. We're taking Coastal Carolina -19. And last but not least, the 49ers, Charlotte 49ers against FIU. We're taking the over 58 points. All right, let's get into some betting nuggets and quick picks for you. Then we'll let you go and wish you luck for the weekend. Notre Dame at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech getting a point. Again, we mentioned the bad spot here for Notre Dame. Either win or loss last week. I think it's still a tough spot to go in there. But to go in the black hole. But we think worse now that they lost and most likely killed any chance of it at a Final Four. Heartbroken and angry. It's not a great mindset going into the black hole with a very motivated 3-1 Virginia Tech team. So we like Virginia Tech in this one, getting points. East Carolina Parents versus UCF Knights. Knights -10 over under 67. These Pirates are rolling, and UCF is rolling, but we don't like either. We like lots of offense and little defense. Take the over. UCF. They do have 2 losses in a row, but they're still averaging 41 per game. ECU's averaging 32.2 per game. ECU can put up some freaking points, but they can give up a lot too. Charleston South put up 28. Tulane put up 29. You can double that. Annie, for UCF. And UCF is struggling on D, too. That seems to be their problem this year. Allowing 34 points to a freaking Navy team. You can't fix that in 1 week. Take the over, as they'll have no choice but to play match against ECU's good offense. It's over, 67. Florida, Kentucky. This is a good matchup this week, I think. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That was last week. Take that off the board. Why are you putting up shit that was on last week's board? Anyhow, let's go into the NFL. Denver at Pitt. This just spells trouble for Pitt with all the problems up front, and now face a Denver D and a pretty good all-around Denver team. Whether Locke plays or Bridgewater at the helm, just, again, this is a be careful betting nugget more so than a quick pick, because Pitt is 0-2 and they're at home and they're looking very desperate right now. So this game, honestly, in my mind, is a toss-up. Be careful. Just a quick warning. Pack at the Bungles. Bungles getting 3 at home. The Packers have not been convincing, but neither team has been consistent. But nor have they been consistently tested. I think this game is going to tell us a lot where the Bengals are in 21, and the Packers should have the edge here. But since he's rest, could be an advantage in this one and make things close. Do keep watch, though. Joe Mixon's health may impact the line here and obviously the outcome of the game. He's dealing with an ankle injury, and it's not yet known if he'll play. So, again, betting nugget, keep an eye on that. Bills-Chiefs, Sunday night showdown. This is going to be awesome. This is a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. I think Buffalo is going to want to make a freaking statement here. Given just how much the Chiefs' defense has struggled during the early stages this season. Gotta go with my Bills here in the upset. A lot more pressure here on the Chiefs. About to be at 3 losses this early in the season. I think the Bills go in there. Money line. Bet it. Lock it up. All right. Thanks for joining the show. And please like us wherever you listen. I'm your host, Lorenzo de Costa. This is Free Picks and Shit on Capper's Cave, brought to you by Intellect Sports. We will see you next week. And good luck.